is going on YouTube? The Assist Man, and yes, I'm coming back at you guys with another informative, non-complaining Neverwinter YouTube video. Inside of this video, man, I'm going to tell you guys what I think will be the best companions to use for most classes in Mod 16 and give you guys some options. Now, this was all done mostly from me gathering information from the actual game on PC where I do have an account, and it was also mostly done with the help of other information out there in the forums and specifically to other content creators. And I want to give a shout out to one of those people right now. He is, in my opinion, the smartest person in the game. And if you guys have not subscribed to his YouTube channel, I have talked about him in the past and gave him many of shout outs. And that is Rainer. If you guys have not subscribed to Rainer or follow his information, please do so. I am going to leave the link to his YouTube channel pinned in the top comment of this video, as well as his Mod 16 pocket guide with all of his companion information. And throughout the video, I will show a couple of screenshots from his Mod 16 companion guide as well. So not only was this video derived of information that I gathered from the game itself, but it was derived from other content creators and mainly from a lot of the work that Rainer has done. So man, Rainer, I want to personally thank you for how much you have helped out, making this job a lot easier for me and other people in the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys do enjoy this video like I always ask, go ahead and take a moment and hit that thumbs up like button. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, because subscribing to my channel is absolutely free of charge. So without further ado, now let's go ahead and really get into the video. In Mod 16, we found out and we have a ton of new companion changes. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them all, because this video is more or less derived to be what are the better or best companions to use in Mod 16, especially for DPS classes. This video is probably going to be more geared towards DPS classes, because that's really all I play. But we all know in Mod 16, companions have gotten changed a lot. There is going to be all new best in slot companions. Companions now cannot wear standard gear. They can only use companion gear. Companions now cannot use enchantments. They can only use rune stones. And then now, finally, after so many years, augment companions are on a level playing field, if not much better than regular striker or damage companions. So that's what we're going to go ahead and talk about inside of this video. What companions are either going to be much better, the ones you want to use, the reasons why, or could possibly, and in many cases, be the best companions in Mod 16 for DPS. So let's start off with the Summoned Companion. Not the Active Companion, the Summoned Companion. Now, it's in the opinion of many, including myself, that now in Mod 16, that Augment Companions are now best to use. Augment companions are companions that do not attack. They just stand next to you, kind of like vanity items. And those companions could be different ones, like the Ion Stones, the little stones that float around your head, like the Red Dragon Ion Stone, the Black Dragon Ion Stone, the Ion Stone of Might, or the Ion Stone of Allure, or the Black Ice Ion Stone, to name some, for example. They could also be companions that are actually creatures, like the cat, the dog, certain things like that. Or they could be a companion that I'm going to talk about right now called the Bulette Pup. Now, the Bulette Pup, in my opinion, and in the eyes of many's right now, is going to be the new best in slots summoned companion to use in Mod 16. Reason why is, number one, it is an augment companion. Augment companions in Mod 16, and I'm going to show a screenshot right now from a page on Rainer's thing that shows the stats of all the augment companions. And at the bottom, in a darker yellow color, it says, augments have a new power called Enhancement. This power gives 1,000 points in 3 different stats, which is unique for each augment. This list shows which augments give which stats. And this is updated as of now, the time you're watching this video. And also, like I said in the beginning, make sure that you check out Rainer's Mod 16 little pocket wiki guide. I'm going to leave that linked in the top pinned comment under his YouTube channel as well. This guide has so much useful information to it, it's ridiculous. So basically, Augment Companions now will give you an additional 1,000 stats of 3 different stat categories. And there are some of them that show a clear, better advantage over some of the other ones, specifically for DPS companions. We all know, or if you don't know, in Mod 16, power now reigns supreme. You want to stack as much power as you can possibly get. Every 1,000 power you have will translate and give you 1% more damage. Now, if you look at this sheet, and I'm going to show it on the screen again, there are only 4 Augment Companions that actually give you 1,000 power out of all of them. And that is the Bulette Pup, the Star of Simworld, the Quasette, and the Polar Bear Cub. But now if you further look at the stats that the other ones give you, for instance, the Star of Simworld gives you 1,000 critical avoidance and 1,000 awareness. Critical avoidance and awareness are stats that many players don't need or they're overcapped on. Now if you look at the Quasette gives you not only 1,000 power, but 1,000 defense and 1,000 accuracy. The 1,000 defense is amazing, but the 1,000 accuracy is once again a stat that either a lot of players don't need or they're overcapped on. Now let's look at the third one, which is the Polar Bear Club. Polar Bear Club. I guess if you want to get naked and go swimming in 20-degree, waters in the wintertime, you could be part of the Polar Bear Club. But in case you didn't, and you wanted an Augment Companion in Neverwinter, you might want to get a Polar Bear Cub, because that one gives you 1,000 power, 1,000 critical strike, and 1,000 awareness. Once again, the power is nice, but the critical strike, most players are overcapped on it or already at the max, so they don't need it. Same exact thing with the awareness. Then that goes into looking at the 4th and final one, which in my opinion is the best companion in Mod 16 to have summoned, and that is the Bulette Pup. The reason why is this one gives you 1,000 power, which I just said is amazing, 1,000 defense, which is amazing for any class because you want to try to stay alive as much as you can, and 1,000 combat advantage. Combat advantage is a major stat to have in Mod 16. It's going to make you do more damage when you have combat advantage. So stacking combat advantage is a very common thing to do in Mod 16 as well. So now if you look at all these Augment Companions, which you want to pretty much be using, and then you look at the 4 of them that have power, it's easy to see that the Bulette Pup is the best one to use out of all of them. Hence the reason why green ones are selling for like 500,000-600,000 on PC, and other YouTubers like my man and friend Northside showed it on his Barbarian level 80 build video as the summoned companion he's using as well. So the Bulette Pup is probably going to be, if not already is, the best in slot summoned companion to use in Mod 16. Now, also in Mod 16, the way companions changed, and this is different for every class, is you have 6 different categories. Some of them have different categories than others. For instance, the Barbarians, I believe, have 1 utility slot, 2 defensive slots, and I think 1 offensive slot. And every class has 1 combat companion enhancement power. So every class is going to have 1 enhancement power. And you could use whatever you want to use there. There's a lot of ones that are good, but you're going to have options to a lot of them because every companion that you have comes with a different one. It's kind of like dealer's choice. Just use whatever's better for your class. But every other class, though, is going to have a different structure of things you can get. For instance, like I said, on the Barbarian, I believe they have 1 utility slot, 2 defensive slots, or maybe it's 3 defensive slots, I'm not sure, and 1 or maybe 2 offensive slots. Now, I do know that on the Control Wizard, which is the class that I play, the Control Wizard gets 3 offensive slots, 1 defensive slot, and 1 utility slot. So you gotta make sure that the companions that you get, or the ones that you want to use in Mod 16, fall in that category. Because if you're, for instance, if you're a Control Wizard, and you go ahead and you say, oh, I want these 5 companions, because these 5 are the best, and all 5 of them are offensive companions, you can't use them all. you can only use 3 offensive companions, and you need to have 1 defensive companion and 1 utility companion as well. So now going into what are the best, or if not some of the better companions to use in Mod 16, specifically for DPS classes. Number 1, and this companion has already seen a massive price increase on Xbox. I'm not sure on PS4, but a lot of people have already figured this one out. And this is by far, in my opinion, the number 1 best in slot companion to use for DPS classes, and that is the Deep Crow Hatchling. The Deep Crow Hatchling at Legendary, its bonus will give you plus 8,000 power. That's ridiculous. Obviously, that's number 1. You should, if you're a DPS class, have a Deep Crow Hatchling as your number 1 companion. That is an offensive companion that will go into an offensive slot. So the Deep Crow Hatchling is something that you definitely want to have if you are a DPS player. Like I said, the prices on all these companions are going to be pretty high, especially when people start figuring out now, after this video and other information that's out there, about how some of these companions are much better to use in Mod 16 and are probably the best, if not best in slot. So the Deep Crow Hatchling is number 1, in my opinion. Number 2 would be the Mercenary Companion. Now, I talked about this in a previous video because I found out they were selling for a lot of money on PC. Then I found out why. The Mercenary Companion, once again, now let me go back and saying this, power reigns supreme in Mod 16. You want to try to use as many companions as you possibly can that will give you power so their stats can be multiplied and transferred to your personal stat sheet. The Mercenary Companion is one of only I think 6 companions in the game that actually give you power. But the thing about the Mercenary Companion is it gives you not only at Legendary 4,000 power, but an additional 2,000 combat advantage. And we just got done talking about how combat advantage is equally just as important as power. So the Mercenary, although it gives you 4,000 power, like some of the other companions that give you 4,000 power, also gives you 2,000 of a much better stat, being combat advantage. Now, not the Rebel Mercenary, just the regular Mercenary. So, in Mod 16, the Mercenary is probably the second best offensive companion that you can use because it's going to give you 4,000 power and 2,000 combat advantage at Legendary. Now, currently on PC at the time I'm making this video, and I've talked about in the past, the green Mercenary companions are selling for about 500,000, the blue ones at between 900,000 and 1.1 million, and the purple ones for like 1.5 to 2.5 million for these companions. I don't know how much they're going to be selling for on PS4 or on Xbox, but this is only merely a guide. Coming in at number 3 is another companion that gives you power, and that is called the Minstrel. Now, the Minstrel at Legendary gives you 4,000 power and 2,000 awareness. It is one of the only other companions that gives you 4,000 power. The Minstrel is a defensive / utility companion. So according to Rainer's sheet, you can use it in a defensive slot or a utility slot. Now, as far as I can see, it is the only companion that gives you plus power that gets slotted into a defensive slot, making it rare, making the demand for it much high, making it probably about to cost a lot of money. So the Minstrel can be used as a defensive or a utility companion. If I didn't say before, the Mercenary can be used as an offensive or a utility companion according to Rainer's sheet, and the Deep Crow Hatchling was only for an offensive slot. So number 1 would be the Deep Crow Hatchling, number 2 would be the Mercenary, and number 3 would be the Minstrel. Coming in at number 4, I guess you could say at number 4 and 5, because both of these companions are pretty similar to me, and that is the Kenku Archer and the Ghost Companion. Now, at Legendary, the Kenku Archer gives you plus 4,000 power and plus 2,000 armor pen. At Legendary, the Ghost Companion gives you plus 4,000 power and plus 2,000 critical strike. So it is up to you on which one of these you'd want to use. Both can be slotted into your offensive or utility slot according to Rainer's guide. So both the Kenku Archer and the Ghost can be used as offensive or utility. Both of them will give you plus 4,000 power, but the Kenku Archer will give you 2,000 armor pen, and the Ghost will give you 2,000 critical strike. Coming in the next slot, this companion is called the Storm Rider. Now this companion will give you 4,000 power at Legendary and 8,000 hit points. So, although hit points are nice, I don't personally think I would rate that higher than Awareness or Armor Pen. And that's why I put it a little bit lower on the list. But still, like I said before, it's one of the only, I think, 7 companions in the game that gives you plus power. And power is supreme in Mod 16. Remember that meme? See how that rhymed 3 times? Power is supreme in Mod 16. Remember that meme. Put it on a t-shirt. So the Storm Rider is another good companion to use as well, but it is only a utility companion according to Rainer's guide. Now, I think that there are better utility companions, and I will name both of those right now. So the next one would be the Neverember Guard Archer. Once again, it's a utility companion only, and at Legendary will give you 4,000 power and 2,000 defense. Now, personally, I would rather have the 4,000 power and the 2,000 defense. This way, I'm staying alive a little bit more. So I personally think that the Neverember Guard is a little bit better than the Storm Rider, but you really can't discount any of these companions because these are the only ones that are going to give you power in Mod 16. And coming in last, and what I feel is the best utility companion to use in the game, and I think PC knows that as well, because the prices of these things on PC are about 1.3 to 1.7 million each on average, and that is the Stalwart Golden Lion. Now this only comes at purple because it was only acquired from a lockbox. But what makes the utility of the Stalwart Golden Lion so good, its utility bonus itself. And that is, you have a 50% chance of getting a stack of radiant weapon damage that will make you do 10% more damage as radiant damage. So basically, every time you hit an enemy, you have a 50% chance to do 10% more damage as radiant damage. Sounds really good to me. I'll take it. So the Stalwart Golden Lion, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many as well, is the best utility companion to use. Now, these are the companions that I feel are going to be the best companions for DPS characters in Mod 16. But like I said, you can't use them all. Depending on what class you play, you can only use some. For example, like I said earlier, I'm a control wizard. I could use 3 offensive companion powers, 1 defense, and 1 utility. And then we all get, no matter what class we play, 1 companion enhancement power. So, which ones you want to use is up to you. But I would definitely tell you that you should, if you have 2 or more offensive slots, the Deep Crow Hatchling and the Mercenary should be in both of those slots. Whatever you use in your 3rd one is up to you. Now there is another companion that I feel is better than all of them. All of them. But I don't really want to talk about it too much because it's so expensive that most players, if you don't already have it, can't even afford it. And that is the Alpha Compy. The Alpha Compy is a companion that is long gone from the game. It was only able to be received in a special booster starter pack that you had to buy, I think, back in Mod 13 or 14 or something like that. But the problem is that the Alpha Compy now is like the best companion in the game. The Alpha Compy's stats say it basically will increase your power by 5%. Meaning, if you have 150,000 power, this thing's going to increase your power by 7,500. If you have 200,000 power and you have an Alpha Compy, it's going to increase your power by 10,000. So yeah, it's by far the best. But also, like I just got done saying, most players don't have it, and most players never will. Just due to the fact, it's very, very expensive. Even on Xbox, the prices of these Alpha Compies are like 15 to 20 million plus AD. You're looking at a companion that costs you like 20 million. And on PC, the exact same thing. So most players can't afford to spend 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 million on a companion, however much people are asking for this Alpha Compy. So I kind of left it off the list. From all the information I gathered, then what I want to use is I'm going to be using the Deep Crow Hatchling for 8,000 power and an offensive slot, the Mercenary for 4,000 power and 2,000 combat advantage in an offensive slot, the Kenku Archer for 4,000 power and 2,000 armor pen in a offensive slot, the Minstrel for 4,000 power and 2,000 awareness in my defensive slot, and the Alpha Compy, because I have one, in my utility slot. The Alpha Compy, if I didn't already mention, can only be slotted in the utility slot. Now, if you don't have an Alpha Compy, or you can't afford an Alpha Compy, then you want to use a Stalwart Golden Lion. If I didn't have an Alpha Compy, I would 100% be using a Stalwart Golden Lion, but since I already have an Alpha Compy and I've had it for a long time, I'm going to be using that. So if you don't have an Alpha Compy, your best utility slot to use is the Stalwart Golden Lion. Now, like I said, that's just for DPS. This is merely my opinions and a guide on things, but definitely these like 8 or 9 companions that I mentioned in this video are very expensive on PC right now for Mod 16. They are definitely some of the better, if not the best companions to use, but you have to do all of your own research. This is merely me telling you guys some really, really good choices, if not the best choices in the game. So anyway, man, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up like button, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. So anyway, YouTube, this is the Assist Man, and until next time, I am out.